Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Tuesday. First and foremost, as always, I just want to send out positive vibes and vibrations to everybody. My apologies, I've been on another hiatus, you all, but it's just been a lot of things going on, with my family and things of that nature that has to be getting tended to. And when you're going through a thing, sometimes you just gotta have the right. I don't want to come on here without the right, proper energy and motivation, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't want you to see that version of Be New. You understand what I'm saying? So with all that being said, y'all, I just figured I'd come at y'all this morning because it's been a while. And somebody was telling me yesterday, I think it might have been one of my youngest son's friends. Now this is my, I got kids and grandkids, ranging from age 24 all the way down. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my youngest son friends, they around 13 or 14 years old. And they on here telling my son how much Michael Jordan is the GOAT over LeBron because of his influence. And that's all they could keep saying. So I started hitting them with a bunch of facts like I normally do. And I'm not gonna debate kids. I'm just doing this for fun, but you know what I'm saying? I had to give my son a little bit of ammunition. You understand what I'm saying? But my point is, how can you be 13 years old and talking about Michael Jordan is the GOAT? You've never even seen this man play except for highlight film. So this is a lore. This is not folklore or whatever you want to call it, but this is the aura that has been given to one Michael Jordan, and everything is by word of mouth because that's what their parents tell them. I'm sure they had parents who told them Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and all this kind of stuff, but where are the facts that back these things up? And what I want to touch on is, because the only thing that they kept saying was that Jordan has the most influence ever on basketball because of his influence. So I don't understand what they exactly mean by that. Of course, Jordan grew the sport during the 90s. The sport grew damn near exponentially. We know that as far as worldwide, international play, things of that nature. But if you want to talk about an influence, you really want to talk about influence, let's talk about Magic Johnson and talk about Larry Bird. Because without that rivalry of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird that developed in the 80s, the NBA nearly wouldn't even be where it was today, and probably nobody would even cared about Michael Jordan at all, as the way they did by the time it blew up in the 90s. So the reason I say that is, I don't know if you all know this, but in the 80s, even the NBA Finals games and playoff games were on a tape delay, which means they recorded the games while they were live and then came back around and played them later at a good time slot where they think people would actually watch it. Nobody was even tuning in live. Not enough people were even tuning in live to broadcast these games live because nobody cared. And it's really sad because, it was very popular in the 60s and gaining popularity, but through the 70s, as the league became a lot more of a black league, it seems like they lost a lot of their fan base. And, I hate to point out truths like that, but that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it was. And, it's sad, but we won't get into all that because I try to steer away from these type of topics on this channel and stick it straight to sports. So with all that being said, you usher in that new era of the 80s, where you have Larry Bird, who actually is going to draw a lot more viewers that typically weren't watching the sport. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you can follow my drift with that. So once you bring in Larry Bird, now you got to realize Larry Bird and Magic Johnson already had a rivalry in college with Indiana and Michigan State. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they played each other in the Final Four, with Magic Johnson coming out on top of that. So you got to realize the rivalry was already developed. You understand what I'm saying? And without that rivalry, through the whole decade of the 80s, then you wouldn't even have the success that the association had in the 90s, because it was that rivalry in particular that led about to the growth of the NBA. And a lot of people who want to say, well, without Michael Jordan, he's so influential. Well, let's not forget the influence of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, because without Without them, how influential would you be? And then you're talking about, everybody says, he was so great, and all that, which he was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Jordan hater. I don't roll that route. But what you have to understand is who were the teams he were playing in the finals. And then of course, let me help out a lot of the smooth brain people. And let me help you out, as far as my people who got wrinkles on their brain, who actually get into arguments, with people, and then you might feel like you don't have the ammo when they say certain things to you. So, they come and say, and this is what I hear a lot too, well, Jordan beat all these 60-win teams. How many 60-win teams did LeBron beat? He beat all these 60-win teams in order to look at the percent, Just stop it. Just stop it. Because, of course, you're going to beat 60-win teams because the league was so top-heavy. When you add 6 teams, let's just be honest right now. If we added 6 teams to the association right now, let's say we added Louisville, Kentucky, gave them a team. Let's say we gave Seattle a team. Let's say we gave St. Louis a team. Let's say we gave Jacksonville a team. Let's say we gave Austin, Texas a team. And let's say we gave, who need a team? What city am I missing? Some trash city out here. I don't know. Let's just say we gave Buffalo a team. 16. Let's just say we gave 6 teams. And by getting those 6 teams, we went around and we drafted 2 players off every team, 2 starters, or either a good starter and a good bench player off every single team, and filled up the other teams with those players, and then rounded them off with draft picks as far as new players coming into the league. How much watered down would the league be? So now you're going to have 6 new teams. It's going to water down the talent, and then of course you're going to have more 60-win teams because the teams like, let's say, the Lakers and the Nets, Denver, Phoenix, Milwaukee, teams like that, they're going to have probably 60 wins easily. So you're going to have at least 6 or 7 teams that have 60-win teams. So of course, in order to beat them, to win the championship, you're going to have to run through those teams. But that doesn't mean those teams are better because of their 60 wins. Now, I know you're going to say, well, that's dumb. If they won 60 games, then they good. You damn right they were good. I'm not saying that they weren't good. That's what y'all fail to realize. I'm not saying that they were not good. The only thing I'm saying is the competition level was not as great as it is now as far as depth in the league. So by the time the 2000s rolled around, you start having more talent come to the NBA, more people that were more capable of doing more things. So the shooting became better. The movement of the ball became better. And then let's not forget this, of course, Michael Jordan, everybody want to say, oh, he played in the toughest defensive era. He played in hand check era. It was hand checking. Man, stop it. There's no complicated defenses as they are now, zone defenses and things like that. And even AI, Allen Iverson, if you go back and look at his interviews, and I put the link in the comments, matter of fact, of when AI said that he hated that right when he came into the league, that they changed the rules and brought about the zone defense. And he even said how much harder it was to score because before it was just one-on-one. So imagine who was Jordan going against night in and night out playing one-on-one basketball. Who were the other great guards who had to try to contain the great Michael Jordan? Now, also, to that note, he was a great defensive player, and I'm not taking that away from him. Jordan is arguably probably the greatest defensive guards of all time, and I'm not taking that from him. But let's just see who was he guarding night in and night out that gave him these first-team All-NBA defensive validations. Come on now. We just got to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real every time and just stay 100. So if you look at all the mitigating factors as far as, watering down the league, the adding of all the teams, things like that, then just how great was Michael Jordan really? See, what people fail to understand is LeBron James is probably playing in the heightened era of the NBA with the most talent. So when he goes up against other teams, he has all these Hall of Famers that he's going against. Whereas Jordan, like I said in my original viral video, who would he play? Portland Trail Blazers, Clyde Drexler. one Hall of Famer. Phoenix Suns, Charles Barkley, one Hall of Famer. Now, they had other great players like a Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley and things like that, but these aren't, there's a difference between a great player and a Hall of Fame player. Now, facts are just facts. And if you don't like it, then you ain't got to listen to it. But it's the truth. A lot of my daddy used to say, do I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? I'm not trying to be your enemy because I'm telling you the truth. I'm just trying to shed light on the subject so you can understand and stop just regurgitating stuff that you hear. Because that's most of all these Jordan fans do, because a lot of them, if they my age, that's fine. You want to say Jordan the best, you watched him play, and that's your opinion. And I respect it. But if you out here 20 years old and, in your 20s and talking about Michael Jordan is the GOAT, man, you ought to quit it. Because how do you know? You didn't even watch it, besides for some highlights. And of course, if you watch Come Fly With Me or The Last Dance or whatever, of course they're going to shine a light on, show you how great that Jordan really was. You understand? And I'm not saying that Jordan wasn't great. Only thing I'm saying is that he is not better than LeBron James. Because at the end of the day, when you look at LeBron James' physique, he can easily handle Jordan. Look at when Shaq was playing around with Jordan at the All-Star game. Look at that film, how he was just had moves, playing around with Jordan, spinning around, shooting on him just like that. And that's not a real game, but that just go to show you Jordan is not Superman. He can be scored on. Look how AI crossed him up. You see how AI crossed him up just like that? And that was damn near a prime Jordan. So do you think that Kyrie Irvings of the world and other people that's developed a lot better handles in today's game wouldn't be able to do that to Michael Jordan? Stop putting him on some kind of pedestal like he's just some kind of god that could not be defeated, just because he's 6-0 in the finals. He's not 6-0 in the finals. His teams are 6-0 in the finals. And especially that second run when you had a Tony Kukoc and as your sixth man, and two Hall of Fame teammates and Rodman and Pippen, when you had stretches of games where Rodman going out getting you 25 boards a game. So you had to not worry about the dirty work and get all these extra possessions. You didn't have to worry about missing because Rodman going to clean it up. You understand what I'm saying? Pippen going to go out and play great defense on the other team's best player. You understand what I'm saying? So Jordan has not been asked to do all the things that LeBron James has been asked to do. And LeBron James, for whatever it's worth, he's going to get 2 more rings. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's going to be another ring this year for the Los Angeles Lakers. You can trust and believe that. Now, I can get on 2K and I can sit up here and simulate some games and show you what I mean. But what I did want to discuss, and I might not have time to discuss that today, but I'm about to come back regular, y'all. I'm going to do my best. My apologies. Is discuss what Rich Paul has been saying as far as moving Anthony Davis into that center position, which what I said a couple of weeks ago when the last time I made a video where people were saying, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that. I said, well, when they got rid of Marc Gasol, it has to mean that, because if Dwight Howard is your starter and then DeAndre Jordan comes in as your backup, that's not giving you any kind of way to spread the floor. And the only time you can spread it, with your center is to let Anthony Davis play the center. And basically that's what they're doing. And Rich Paul has confirmed that that's going to be one of their main lineups, and not just a closeout lineup or anything like that, but one of their go-to lineups. And that's exactly what's going to make them successful. And once they when you put a Russell Westbrook in the point guard, probably Malik Monk in the 2 spot, LeBron James, in the 3, and you can get Anthony Davis in there playing the center, then it's going to be real difficult to defend. It's going to be very difficult to defend, and then they're going to still be able to play great defense. The only thing I'm saying the Lakers going to really need to concentrate on is the turnovers, because as we all know, LeBron James and both Russell Westbrook are, they have a high usage and therefore get a lot of turnovers. So I can imagine with both of them having such high usage rate that one of them, usage rate is going to go down, and I could imagine that that's probably going to be a one Russell Westbrook, because LeBron James, with his IQ level and the things, he puts people in the right places. But it's going to be so many different kind of lineups you can even do with the bench to get LeBron James the rest that he needs, especially bringing in the likes of a Rajon Rondo. So at the end of the day, I know people are saying this Lakers team is old, but who the hell can you get to stop them? That's what I want to know. Who the hell can you get to stop them? And please don't tell me Brooklyn. Please don't tell me Brooklyn. While they are one of probably the best offensive teams that I've ever seen assembled, even though they didn't have a lot of time to play with one another, I just don't feel like they're going to have the ammunition that it takes at the end of the day, or the defensive tenacity to be able to stop the Los Angeles Lakers. And that's if they can get past a motivated Milwaukee Bucks. But we'll talk about that more during the week. There's a lot more that I want to get into, and I know I promised y'all my top 20 or top 25 countdown. I'm going to be coming on with that real soon, so just stay tuned. I appreciate everybody love and support, man, and I just want to send all that right back to you. So positive vibrations to everybody, and as always, man, right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.